We always look to the stars for alien worlds, right? But what if I told you there's one right here on our own planet? A place that's actually less explored than the surface of Mars, and it's full of creatures that seem to come straight out of a sci-fi movie. Yep, today we're diving deep, really deep, into the deep sea, our planet's final and maybe most mysterious frontier. And you hear people describe it in these, really dramatic, cinematic terms. And honestly, they're not wrong. This is a world of total, eternal darkness, and pressure so intense it's hard to even wrap your head around. It's a place that just pushes the limits of what we thought was even possible for life. So, that's the big question, isn't it? It sounds simple, but the answer, wow, it's anything but. What secrets, what unbelievable creatures, what wonders are actually hiding down there in that huge, dark expanse? Well, let's dive in and find out. All right, so first things first. Before we can even talk about the creatures, we have to understand the world they live in. And believe me, it's about as alien as it gets. Our journey starts just a few hundred meters below the waves. So that 200-meter mark, think of it as a line in the sand. Scientists call it the twilight zone, and it's where everything changes. It's not just about the sunlight fading away, it's the point where the entire rulebook for life gets thrown out the window. Photosynthesis? Nope, not an option anymore. So life has to get creative. It has to figure out brand new ways to see, to hunt, and just to survive in a world that's only getting darker. And what an environment it is. The deep sea isn't just dark. It's one of the most hostile places on the entire planet. The challenges to just stay alive down there are absolutely immense. Okay, first up, the pressure. Just try to imagine this. In the deepest parts of the ocean, the pressure is more than 1,000 times what we are feeling right now. That is so much force. It would literally crush a modern submarine like you'd crush an empty soda can. It's just unbelievable. And if the pressure doesn't get you, the cold will. It is just relentlessly, bone-chillingly cold down there. We're talking about temperatures hovering just above freezing, around 4 degrees Celsius. And it never changes. Day, night, summer, winter, it's always that same frigid cold. So you've got crushing pressure, freezing cold, and total darkness. Sounds impossible, right? But this is where things get truly incredible. In the middle of all that, life performs a miracle. It makes its own light. It's called bioluminescence, and it's what turns this pitch-black void into a glittering cosmos of living, breathing light. It's amazing. Okay, so this deep world isn't just one big, dark space. Think of it more like a giant, invisible skyscraper. Scientists have divided it into different layers, or zones, each one deeper and stranger than the last. So let's start our descent. We're going to go through 4 main zones. First, we pass through the twilight zone, where that last little bit of sunlight fades to nothing. Then, we plunge into the midnight zone, where it's permanent night. Go deeper still, and you hit the abyss, a huge, cold, flat plain. And then, at the very, very bottom, you have the Hadal Trenches. They're actually named after Hades, the underworld, which tells you everything you need to know. These are the deepest, most mysterious spots on Earth. Just to give you a sense of scale here, because it's hard to grasp, think about this. Mount Everest, right? The tallest mountain on the planet. If you could somehow pick it up and place it in the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the ocean, its peak would still be more than 2 kilometers underwater. That's how incredibly deep we're talking. It's almost impossible to picture. So with all that pressure and cold and darkness, you'd probably think, okay, nothing can possibly live here. And that would be a totally reasonable assumption. But you'd be wrong. Life doesn't just exist down there. It thrives. And it does so in some of the most bizarre and wonderful ways imaginable. I mean, evolution just went wild in the deep sea. The creativity is stunning. You've got the classic anglerfish, right, with its own little built-in fishing rod and a glowing lure to attract its dinner in the dark. Then there's the legendary giant squid, a real-life sea monster with eyes the size of dinner plates. You've got the fang-toothed fish, which looks like an absolute nightmare, but those giant teeth are just a super smart adaptation to make sure that once it bites something, it's not getting away. And way, way down in the abyss, you've got the Dumbo octopus just gracefully flying through the water with these big ear-like fins. It's just incredible. Okay, so this is all really cool, right? But you might be thinking, this is all happening miles under the ocean. What does it have to do with me? It can feel pretty disconnected from our lives up here. So why does it matter? Why should we care about exploring this super remote place? All right, get ready for a fact that's probably going to blow your mind. We have mapped the entire surface of Mars, the entire surface of the Moon, in high detail. But our own ocean floor? Over 80% of it is still completely unmapped, unobserved, and unexplored. Let that sink in. We literally know more about the surface of other planets than we do about the bottom of our own world. And this isn't just about, satisfying our curiosity. This is about our future. The deep sea is holding on to some of our planet's biggest secrets. There are clues in the sediment down there that can tell us about Earth's climate history. There are insights into how life might have even started in the first place. And get this, it's like a massive, untapped pharmacy of unique compounds that could lead to the next generation of life-saving medicines. It's all just waiting to be discovered. And that really brings us to the final thought here. The fact that this vast, mysterious, and super important world exists right here on our planet, and we know so little about it, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? It leaves you with this one big question. What else are we missing right here in our own world?